truly thank you for being here. I really, really appreciate your time and your courage to speak out on this. I think it's a very important topic, healthy masculine. So, my first question is to describe a situation from your past that is an example of the unhealthy masculine and how it made you feel.
Okay. I've given this some thought and I appreciate the question. So when I was finishing up my tour in the military, um, I was about 23 years old, and my grandfather and I had had a fishing trip planned for a number of years. It was kind of my end of the military and something that we had both looked forward to. And he was like my father figure.
Hmm.
And so sadly, about a month before I was discharged from the military, he had a stroke and then shortly thereafter died.
Oh,
And so we weren't able to go on the fishing trip. And it was very hard for me, like I said, he was to me a father figure. And the firstborn grandchild and also the first or the oldest male. So there was some responsibility placed on me. And for example, at the funeral, my mother came up to me and said, as the oldest male, you have to be there for your grandmother and kind of
mm,
help her and take on that type of role. And then shortly thereafter, my father came up to me and said, well, given the relationship you had with, it would be my mother's father, need you to be there for your mother to support her.
ah,
And then, and also just kind of what went with being the oldest and the oldest male in my family, I was also felt anyway that I had to be responsible for my brother and sister to help steer them through that situation. So
wow.
I went through the funeral. I performed all my responsibilities. Was kind of the face of the family. Talked to the extended family, but I remember feeling very alone and like I had all of this responsibility, but no real support system, and didn't think that as a male I could ask for help, or
Yeah.
I didn't even know who I would ask for help. And I do remember at one point going down into their basement of their house just for a little alone time while all the guests were there, and just trying to cry. And it was very challenging because I was younger and had a little bit more of that military and kind of male programming where I don't like men don't show emotion, men don't cry.
Yeah.
And so I remember feeling very alone, very hard time. I think I got like maybe one or two tears out. And um, that situation, along with kind of how life has worked out, led me to believe that, men just kind of press on. We tuck our emotions away and we're alone and we're just caretakers looking out for everyone and responsible for everything. Um,
Yeah, sure.
we just deal with it, we just deal with whatever comes up.
Yeah, all that responsibility placed on you, and then in a time where you had your own grieving to do, and then just kind of tucked it away because how would you even grieve? And then who was there to support you during that time when you had all these responsibilities?
Yeah, exactly. There was no healthy, I felt, emotional outlet, and
Yeah,
it wasn't even considered. Like, and my family, they're good people. It's just no one even thought that I may need something
sure,
a lot,
sure.
just because of my role as a male and being older, and um,
Yeah.
it was just an odd situation.
Well, I'm really sorry that happened. I'm grateful that you're able to see it so clearly now. I think that's huge to be able to look back and kind of go, "Hey, I needed support during that time." Um, that's a sign of really being in touch with yourself and knowing, being able to look back and learn from that and know what you needed. If you could rewrite that now, like with this from this person, this view of who you are now, and turn that story into an example of the healthy masculine, what would that look like?
I think I would have been so from the healthy masculine and who I am now, I would at least acknowledge what I need, be aware that I actually need something. And so I wasn't in a relationship at the time with a woman that may have helped me to like have at least someone to lean on.
Mhm.
But if it was now and I was in the same situation, single, I would, find someone, a good friend, someone who could provide kind of that nurturing and just what I needed. And if I needed to just sit with someone in the sun and just talk, if I needed to cry on their shoulder, whatever it was, just to feel like I had someone there who had my back. But to articulate it is the big thing.
Yeah.
And, not assume that people know what's going on inside of me, but really just to articulate it to someone close where I'm like, look, I may seem all great, but I do need this. And
Yes.
just clearly articulate that and not have that like, oh, somehow impact my masculine traits, not take that as a sign of weakness of needing people.
Yeah, yeah, because it's the opposite. It's a sign of strength to have that clarity of who you are, what you need in that moment, and then to have the courage to speak that truth. Paul, thank you so, so much for your vulnerability and your courage in sharing your story. I'm really, really grateful.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for your work.
Thank you for watching Men Rising in Minutes. You can read more on this topic in my book, Men Rising, The Healthy Masculine. Grab your copy on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, and please leave a positive review if you love it. And I am wishing you a beautiful day.